Hello, MVPs. Casper and Cheryl here. We are back from our trip from Texas,
Yes, sir.
filming our TV show, our new TV show called Winning with Love. And we imported our background just to kind of show you that. But it's going to be live on the 21st of November. We're going back to Texas to do a premiere of the launch of the show. Yay! Yay! But we're glad to be back with you. We have some really good training for you this time. A lot of good stuff to really unpack here. You would think that unity in marriage should be something that almost comes naturally, or you would think that people be thinking about unity in marriage.
Right.
But a lot of couples are not united in their marriage.
And they get married knowing that they're not united.
Right, because they didn't.
They think it's just going to all go away after they say
the challenges.
Yeah. And the fact that they're miles apart will just dissipate after they get married.
Yeah, it does.
No, no, it doesn't.
In fact, it probably gets worse.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. So we're going to talk about that.
We're going to unpack this
because we want our MVPs, especially those who are not yet married, to be able to make good choices.
Yes. So you can start this unity situation long before you get married, so you don't have problems when you get married. You should be thinking about it right away. You know, you should be making sure that you have common interests, common goals, common interests, things like that. Talk about all these things before you say I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did. Everything. I'd go home. We hang out, and then in the evening I'd come home after we've hung out all day, and I would think of things, scenarios, situations, especially scenarios from experiences from my sisters.
Yeah.
Who were married, and a lot of them were married at the time,
facing challenges,
and they were facing some really serious challenges. And I took those challenges and I presented it before him because I did not want those challenges. Didn't want them.
I didn't want them either. Yeah.
So that's why we're going to talk about unity, because we want our couples to be unified.
Okay, so how do couples be unified in their marriage?
Well, there are several things.
Okay.
We're going to hit them.
All right.
We're not going to be able to go through intensively on all of them, but we are going to hit them.
Okay.
And the first one is be loyal. And again, I always go back to when you're single.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a sense of loyalty with this person and you're not married to him, that's a red flag. And you should really consider going any further, because loyalty is important.
Well, it's important, and I think people need to make their intentions known so that you're not thinking you have a relationship and you actually don't, kind of thing.
That's a big one.
Right? So I understand being loyal, but you also need to know that, we're planning on this developing into something more.
Right.
So there's a reason to be loyal, because we're now coming together.
Right. We're building something, and we need to know. I need to know. Are you going to stick and stay?
Right.
So when the challenges come, what are you going to do?
Right.
We get married, excuse me, and say our first child has developmental physical disabilities.
Yes.
What are you going to do? Are you going to stick around? We're going to work through this together. We're going to help the child. We're going to find out what we need to support our situation. Yeah. Or is it all on me or all on you, and I just can't handle it? And then, peace, I'm out.
Right. Yeah. So they need to know that you're going to stay. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're in it for the, for the duration or whatever. Right? You're not going to just run out at the first sign of trouble. And today's society, it's so easy now to get a divorce. People just, $250 and you're out. So everybody's on pins and needles, right? Because he may leave me, she may run out, and whatever. And it's like, man, you have to be committed. It's a covenant. It's not something to take lightly.
No, it's not. And if you're not going to take it lightly, then I
Take it
suggest
seriously.
take it seriously. Yeah. If you're not going to take it seriously, then I suggest you step away.
Yeah.
So the next one
Alright.
is listening. And there's 3 types of listening here. There's active listening and there's empathy listening.
Okay.
So active listening is that when I'm talking to you,
Mhm.
you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
You're,
You're engaged.
Yeah.
You're not just doing the yes, dear, okay, dear, whatever you say, dear,
Yeah.
and never move the paper. You're
Right.
still doing what you're doing, and so there's no eye
Yeah,
contact.
so are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is the mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're still not paying me any
And
attention.
today it's more on your device, your phone, or your computer, or whatever.
Don't be texting me when we need to have a serious conversation about something. Texting me is not. Don't text me.
Right.
Talk to me. And if you have a problem communicating with me, talking to me, and listening to me, then we have a problem.
That is a problem, but the good news is, especially as MVPs, you guys have the tools readily available through the exclusive Facebook group. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the communication card that's readily available. In fact, I can give you a picture of it. You guys have access to this, so you can be, when you have these tough conversations going on, you just pull out the card and slow the conversation down, so you can actually do just active listening that we're talking about.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you want to do active listening.
Yeah.
You don't want to do empathetic listening where you just like you're listening, but you're not really engaged. You're just giving them attention just to get them off, like move along.
Right.
And
And you may not understand what they're going through, but you
Right.
can be you can empathize with what they're going through.
Right.
Maybe it's something at their job or something that you can't relate to, but you can still be concerned and still show
right and genuine. I
Genuine.
guess that's the thing, because you empathetic listening,
Mhm.
be genuine with it.
Right.
Not you're just giving them the time just so they can move along.
Right.
You want to be genuine, you want to be authentic,
Mhm.
you want to be engaged, you
Yeah.
want to be intentional.
Yeah.
And then the next one after listening, of course, is communication. And there's different types of communication, but we talk about that a lot on several of our episodes, because some couples, what we have experienced, they don't communicate well. And a lot of it has to do with listening, because they're not listening well.
Yeah.
And that's where our communication tool comes in, because I can share and then you repeat back what you believe you heard me say.
Right. Paraphrase
Say
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we know how to push each other's buttons. Especially if
Yes.
you've been with somebody for a while, you know exactly what to do to really
Mhm.
set them up.
Mhm.
And for some couples, they just, it becomes muscle memory to where they just set each other off, and I
Mhm.
guess it's part of the game or something, and that's not being, that's not actively communicating or being
A good listener.
a good listener. It's not being effective at all. It's
Mhm.
just causing more strife and discontent. So,
And in communication, you need to be able to articulate your thoughts
Right.
and your ideas.
right.
Any challenges that you're having, you need to be able to articulate that so that your spouse will be able to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And when you can't articulate, I remember years ago, this wasn't anyone I dated. This was just a friend.
Mhm.
And whenever we would be in a conversation, they had the habit of always going, they would start a sentence and and then they go to another sentence. And I would be thinking to myself, I don't know. I have no idea what you're saying.
I don't know.
But they would never finish a thought. They would start a thought, and in the middle of it, they're like, "You understand," and then they go to another one. And I was
Yeah.
like, "No, I don't."
Yeah. And I can, you know, I can recall different situations to where I'm working on a project. I think it's a great idea. I think it's just a phenomenal idea.
Mhm.
And I bring it to you, and you're like, huh? What are you talking about? I'm like, you don't understand. This is pretty clear. You know, it's clear to you, but it's not necessarily clear to your spouse. So,
And then there's those times where you're communicating in your head, and it sounds real good up here.
sounds good. Yeah.
And then you open your mouth and you begin to say it, and you think, even to yourself, you think,
That happened too.
that don't
Yeah.
sound so good.
now that I've said it, I don't like it either.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Never mind. It wasn't important.
Yeah. So communication,
Yeah.
there's all different types and all different forms, and we're just hitting a little bit.
Yeah.
So the next one is being patient.
Yes, patience is a virtue. And as Christians, we should be practicing being patient
It is
And
one
you-
of the fruits of
of
the spirit.
Yeah,
Being
patience,
patient.
long suffering. And we talked about that before. Right?
Yes. Giving each other grace because
Yes.
you want it, you should be able to give it.
Right. You would think that would be, yeah, of course, but no. People are very quick to be just dismissive to their spouse,
Right.
and they shouldn't be.
And it seems like the closer you are to a person, the more frequently you do that. Whereas a stranger,
You would never do that.
you're more patient with the stranger. You
Mhm.
actually listen to what the stranger has to say.
But
And
no,
you give them your full attention.
but I already know what she's going to say. I
Right.
already know what she's going to do.
Mhm,
She's not going to like this. Well, then why are you doing it?
mhm,
You know.
mhm.
You say, well, I like to do it. She doesn't like to do it.
Mhm.
Okay.
And even though you feel like you think you might already know what they're going to say, you still owe it to them to allow them to be able to communicate it. Don't cut them off. Don't be impatient.
Right.
Let them say it. One day they might surprise you and have something totally different. And
Right.
you'll be thinking, I didn't think it was going to go that way.
Maybe one day they were reading our book
Mm.
and surprise you with some very positive feedback. And it's
Some new tools.
new tools. And where'd you hear that? That's different. You got the book.
Right. So be patient. You know, we have to be patient with our children. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so be patient with your spouse as well.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Try to be neutral.
Neutral.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick to judge. Listen, hear them out, and don't take sides. Because, they say that about men and women. So a lot of times when women are communicating, they like to talk, and
Mhm.
when they're communicating, the men just want to get to the point that says, okay, so I can fix it.
Right.
And maybe she doesn't want you to fix it. She just wants you to hear what's on her heart and hear what she's saying or hear what she's going through.
Right. And that's actually most of the time.
Yes. And sometimes I tell Casper, I'll say, okay, honey, I just want to tell you this, but you don't have to do anything about it. I just want you to hear me out.
And it takes a lot of pressure off of me, so I can now listen, but I don't have to listen and also be thinking about how to fix it afterwards.
Right. And so then when I'm done, I'll say, did what I say make sense? And you'll say, yeah, that did make sense.
Mhm.
And then I can say, well, this is what I was thinking on, my resolution.
Right.
And then I'll say, what do you think? So now I've given you an opportunity to
To
participate.
weigh in, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to have a balanced perspective on all of this, right? So, and not be so quick to judge or
jump
just-
in there,
yeah.
or get impatient while they're to hurry up so I can get to the end. Get to the part where I'm supposed to fix it. Well, no, I don't need you to fix it. Then why are you telling me? That's not very nice.
No, it's not. It's not. So be neutral and be patient when it comes to
Mhm.
these things. And challenges. Discuss situations where neutrality is difficult but necessary.
And that's
Because of
where
challenges.
another one of our communication tools can come in,
Mhm.
because when you have to have those tender, sensitive conversations, but they have to be said.
Yeah.
It's not what you say, it's
So,
how you say it and the timing in which you say it. Too.
Yeah, yeah, we see that a lot too. You know, the
Mhm.
timing is off, or how they say it. You know, and you can say you're sorry, but if you're not saying it sincerely,
Mhm.
it doesn't resonate.
No.
Because they say you're not sorry. Yeah, I am. No. Really, I'm sorry.
No, you
No,
just
you're
want to shut me up.
You are not sorry. You know, another one is embrace your spouse's position. So this is like basically putting yourself in their shoes, as they
Right.
say,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Embracing their position and try to see it from their side of
Perspective,
things, from their
right.
perspective.
Right. Mhm.
That will help you. It'll go a long way
Mhm.
to help you do a lot of these other things by just assuming their position.
Right.
Right. Assuming the fact that they've had a hard day, maybe at work or
Mhm.
something, you know, and you just unload on them when they come home, or they unload on you, but
Mhm.
you don't know what just happened all day long.
Right.
Maybe they had a hard day. So assume their side of things,
Yes.
right? Understanding versus agreeing. The difference between understanding your spouse's perspective and agreeing with it.
Mhm.
So you can understand it and say, "Yeah, I get that. I don't know if I agree with it. Or I don't
Yes.
know if it's something I would. And that's not how I see it."
Or I would not have done it that way.
Mhm.
Or I understand, but I think you could have done something a little different
Right.
for a better outcome. I
Right.
mean, it is how you say it. Again,
Mm-hmm.
what you say, how you say it.
Yeah, and there's empathy and unity. How embracing your spouse's position fosters deeper empathy and strengthens your bond. When you sincerely put yourself in their shoes and empathize with them,
Mhm.
so you know, I wasn't there, but man, it sounds like that was a really tough situation,
Right. Right.
and
Mhm.
I feel you.
Mhm.
I'm right there. You know, let me know how I can help.
Right. That's good.
And maybe it could be helping. Could be, can you just take care of the kitchen tonight? Because I just gotta.
Mhm.
I'm done. I'm drained. I'm
And I do
drained.
that. We do that here. You know, if I've been, because I do meal prep,
Mhm.
so I might spend a whole day cooking a variety of different meals so that we can have full food for the rest of the week
Yeah.
and beyond. Because I don't like coming home from work and trying to cook. It
Right.
just don't work.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I might say, honey, I have been standing for 8 hours. I am so tired. Would you please, take care of the dishes, or will you come help me?
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. Let's see. We also have exercise great patience. I think we kind of touched on that before, but um, diving deeper into the significance of patience, especially during tough times in the marriage, and tough
There
times
will be tough times.
could happen.
Yes.
You never know what's going to be thrown your way when it comes to the world. Maybe it's
Things that are unexpected,
Yeah.
unplanned.
I mean, health issues, accidents, catastrophes,
Yes.
you name it.
All types of things.
Yeah. So you want to exercise great patience, which
Yes.
is another virtue. And then have a long-term vision. Keep looking back to that long-term vision of why you guys
Why you got married?
why you got married in the first place. You
Right.
know? Yeah.
And that's why I strongly suggest that couples keep a journal. Write it down. It's not a journal where you have to write in it every day, but for those significant events and conversations and circumstances and situations, you should write them down.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a believer, then you take them to the Lord and sit and ponder and meditate.
Yeah.
Go to the scriptures, and He will help you get through those challenges.
Yeah.
And help you to develop some patience or trust or whatever the virtue is needed. He's there.
Yeah.
So if you write it out, because we do that, we'll write out when we come together and we discuss certain things and we pray about it and we put before the Lord the outcome that we're believing for.
Right.
We write it out, and so when we come together again, we go through it and we say, okay, what did we say last time and what has transpired since then? And,
Yeah.
what do we need to do next? So you need to, I would say, keep a journal.
Keep a journal and have some goals and visions written down.
Absolutely.
We just, like we said earlier, we came back from taping last week of the show, TV show. A year ago, that was not anywhere in our. It was on our website as something we would like to do.
Yes.
But we had no connections to do it. We didn't know how any of that was going to happen. And we weren't stressing over it. It was just a vision or a goal for the future.
Because we believe that if this was a vision from the Lord, then He would bring it together and make it happen.
Right.
And sure enough, He did.
He made it happen in a big way, and we're so excited about it. But again, it was in writing.
It was in writing. Yes.
Yeah, it was in writing, and we were looking at it, and then we started to really hone in on some things. And once we found out that it could be a reality, then we really started to focus on it. And now we even got the mugs. I'm sure our mugs are proof. We got the get the mugs from Michelle. Iron Love Builders with Winning with Love, right? So it turned from a vision into a reality,
right?
But it was because we wrote it down.
Yes, and you always want to. Because we have goals for everything else.
Yeah.
For our family vacation, for finances, and all of that. But it helps to have a goal. Write your goals down, or have a vision board, which we do both. We have our goals written down, but we also have a vision board that's up on the wall, and so we always are looking at it. We see it, we keep it before our eyes, and we lay it before the Father in prayer.
Yep. Seek wise counsel. When to seek help. We'll recognize when it's time to seek external advice or counseling. If you find yourselves just going round and around the same old thing, you shouldn't wait years or even months to try to seek some help.
Right.
There's books out there, there's courses out there, there's people you could talk to at church or what have you. But don't just keep going down that same road all the time and not making any progress. You want to seek help, and you have to know when. You have to know when to recognize when you need help. Well, it's simple. When you keep going round and round and you're not moving forward, that's when you want to seek help.
Seek it as early as possible.
Yeah.
Don't always wait till you have challenges to get counsel or good advice.
Yeah.
Or start reading something to help improve your relationship.
Yeah, because a lot of couples come to us at the 11th hour, as we talk about. It's like you've already decided that you really are done.
Yeah.
But you're like, all right, one last time. We'll do this one. No. Come get help early.
Right.
Get help early. And there's benefits to counseling. How professional guidance or advice from trusted mentors can provide new perspectives and solutions. So we're more coaches than counselors.
Yes.
And we can coach you and give you some advice, and kind of steer you in the right direction, or hopefully get you right on the right path. But it's going to be up to you at the end of the day. You're the ones that have to become the MVP.
You have to do the work.
You have to do the work, right? And then overcoming the stigma, addressing the stigma that sometimes surrounds seeking help in a marriage. That's another problem that we see all the time. Couples don't want to. They want to get a resolution. They want to change the situation, but they're afraid to reach out because of the stigma.
They stay in shame.
Yeah.
They let the spirit of shame, which is
shame
not of God,
and guilt and all that.
Yes, hold them back from getting the help that they want and that they need.
Yeah.
They're too afraid to let anyone know that their marriage is having some challenges, or that their life is having some challenges, or them personally. They want help, but they can't. Shame, that spirit has boxed them into a corner and close their mouths where they won't say anything. So you suffer in silence, and it's just not a good place to be.
It's not a good place to be, and we see it unfortunately in the body of Christ just as much as we see it in the world. And that's even sadder.
Right.
Because we have the Word, we have the Holy Spirit, we have God to help us through these things. And the more you lean into God, the more you'll stay on the path of
Right.
love. And when you're on that path of love, it'll be easier for you to get through those tough
Mhm.
times, get through those situations where you're not communicating well or whatever's going on.
Yes.
But you have to lean into the word.
And don't be ashamed. We all have some kind of challenges.
Yeah.
The whole world is having a challenge.
Yeah.
All of us. Don't be ashamed.
Yeah. Unity as a journey. Empathize that achieving unity in marriage is an ongoing process that requires
Absolutely.
effort from both parties.
Yes.
It's not a one party fix it thing, and
No.
both people have to be engaged.
Mhm.
And it's ongoing, right?
It is.
There's no perfect marriage. Cheryl and I have a really good marriage, and but we have issues. But
we have our challenges
Yeah.
too, and things that life just throw at us, and we're like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Now what?
now what we do?
Like, now what? Yeah, we've been there. Because you don't know what's coming.
No.
But the more unified you are, the better you can handle what's coming when it comes.
Mhm.
Because we don't know what's coming, but we do know that being unified
Mhm.
keeps us strong. And it's like a rope. They say
The threefold cord.
Yeah,
It's not
right.
easily broken.
Right.
So that's you, your spouse, and the Holy Spirit.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So we just want to encourage you. We want to encourage you, and we're glad you're here as MVPs. You've stepped up and made the financial commitment. You also need to make the time commitment to go through this information. We're trying to make it as readily available to you as possible, making ourselves available to you as well, so you can reach out and ask us questions. In fact, every once in a while, we actually do a show where we just kind of go through your questions. So we may do that here in the coming months because, questions come in. Right. So we just want to encourage you as MVPs. You guys are special.
You can do this.
You're special to us. And we just want to make sure that you have a phenomenal, happy,
Yes.
healthy,
successful
marriage.
Right.
That's what it's all about for us. So that's why we're here. All right.
All right.
Guys. We will see you on the next training here in a couple weeks.
Have a good week.
All right. So we got to find my mouse. All right. See you later.